I am really excited, and I didn't come here for the spotlight. I didn't come here to have more eyes. I came here to win. And I really do think that with the group that we have, that we are going to win. We are going to get a championship.
The video's title and thumbnail suggest a bold question. Is Caitlin Clark the greatest college basketball player of all time? Clearly, her name is being used to drive engagement, knowing she's the biggest draw in the sport.
Played an emotion offense my whole life outside of kind of Phoenix. You know, it was more one-on-one and let people do their thing. And if you're open, you're open. Where I like to move. I like to run. I like to dribble and kick. You know what I mean? And so when you see Caitlin, when you see Aaliyah Boston, she's a great passer. Kelsey Mitchell's a great passer.
Yet, despite this, ESPN didn't just rank her low, they removed her from the list entirely. Once again, ESPN has blatantly disrespected Caitlin Clark while pushing their biased narratives. How can a player be considered among the top 5 if they haven't won a championship? Well, do you believe Larry Bird is an all-time great college player? Yes. Yet, he never won a title either.
I just kind of heard what they were doing, and of course you have Caitlin, who's drawn eyes from all around the world. That was like, why would I not? Why not be a part of something great? You go from Diana, and now you're going to a team who is going to be a contender for a championship. And so I'm stoked about this year. I'm really excited for the players, but I'm also excited just for the community and the relationship and the culture that you guys have.
ESPN has excluded Caitlin Clark simply because she lacks a championship ring. But what about leading Iowa to back-to-back national championship appearances? Isn't that impressive enough? Just when you thought ESPN couldn't stoop lower, they've done it again, completely omitting Clark from their list of the top 5 greatest women's college basketball players of all time.
What do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
The only argument against her? No national title. And that's the only thing they can hold against her. Clark didn't just take Iowa to consecutive championship games. She did it while rewriting record books. Yet, ESPN's excuse remains the same. She doesn't have a championship. The same network that ranks male players as legends, regardless of titles, suddenly decides that championships are the defining factor when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
It's going to be a phenomenal group. I'm excited for all the other pieces that came in this offseason with me. And so when I really see what I can do here, I'm confident in that, but I really am just excited for the big picture of what everyone brings to this team.
Meanwhile, they proudly highlight all her accomplishments and record-breaking feats, yet still refuse to rank her among the best. In this video, we break down exactly how ESPN is actively diminishing Clark's legacy, playing favorites, and rewriting history to fit their agenda.
Style play that you guys are playing here, that Stephanie is going to bring here, it's run and gun, it's shooters, it's emotion offense, and so my eyes lit up like a Christmas tree.
Stay tuned as we expose their double standards, one by one. It's baffling how ESPN can recognize when a player does more with less in some cases, but completely ignore it in this instance. Clark carried Iowa to historic heights, yet she gets no credit.
If you move and you make the great cut, you're going to get the ball. And I think that just helps everybody, free up. And so I like to run. I kind of get the name Forrest Gump sometimes. And I'm like, hey, if you guys want to call me, that's fine. I'll beat you down the court every time. But I really am just excited for the style of play and what I can bring to the table for this team.
ESPN's bias was evident when they conveniently erased Clark from their all-time top 5 list for women's college basketball. Their reasoning? No championship ring. But here's the issue. This rule has never applied to anyone else in their rankings. They've honored countless male and female players who never won a title. Yet when it comes to Caitlin Clark, suddenly championships are all that matter.
Being here, I've already been motivated. Like, I know this is a new, fresh start. I'm not in a box anymore. Like, I can finally be free and be in an offense that I think that I can really thrive in and be around players who our mind is strictly on basketball and winning. So I'm just re-motivated. I'm refocused. I feel like I'm back, to be honest. I got a nice tan and that always makes me feel good too. And so being here, honestly, it just makes me want to work even harder than what I've been doing.
Clark's name is merely being used as clickbait. They promote a discussion around her, making viewers think she's being honored, only to pull the rug out and reveal she's not even in the top 5. Look at Oscar Robertson and Pete Maravich, 2 of the most celebrated college players in history, neither of whom won a national championship. Yet, ESPN had no issue ranking them among the greatest. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she shattered them while carrying her team to consecutive national championship appearances.
I am just so excited to be here. I'm from the Midwest, and so for me to kind of get back to my roots and be close to my family, I'm so excited. Like, when I say that I am refreshed and I am motivated and I just like kind of feel like my spark is back, everyone thinks I've been feisty. You've not even seen the feisty side of me yet, so this should be really fun. But for me, I'm excited to be closer to home. I'm excited to deep dive into the community of Indiana. I've already met a lot of really cool people. I'm excited to inspire the next generation of young boys and girls around here, get to know the community more.
If ESPN's #1 criterion is championships, fine. But Clark's impact on the game surpasses that. She's expanded women's basketball in ways no one else has. The hypocrisy is glaring. If championships were the ultimate requirement, then why was Larry Bird, another college icon without a title, ranked so highly? The truth is clear. ESPN is holding Caitlin Clark to an entirely different standard.
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
Clark went to Iowa, a team without championship experience or star power, and single-handedly elevated them to national contenders. And it gets worse. ESPN's way of excluding her wasn't just disrespectful, it was manipulative. They used her name and image to promote the discussion, knowing full well she's the biggest name in women's basketball.
A little bit sassy sometimes, you know, which people don't like, but I love. My teammates always love. And to be honest, I spread the court. Like, I can shoot the ball. And when you have playmakers who are quick, who are great passers with Kelsey Mitchell too, it lets them do their thing. And then the defense draws in and you're just ready to shoot. And so, you know, I think that I'll bring a lot to this team. But at the end of the day, I want to be a good leader. I want to be a great teammate. I want to bring the culture piece and make sure our egos are put aside and that we're all in here to win. And I think that's going to be pretty easy with the group that we have.
Ranking players solely based on titles is an unfair way to measure their impact. Viewers were baited into thinking Clark would be honored among the greats, only for her to be erased from the list entirely. This wasn't just a debate, it was a calculated move to capitalize on her popularity while refusing to acknowledge her greatness.
I'm just excited to kind of maybe be that calm piece when it needs to be calm, that feisty, sassy, stick up for my teammates when it needs to be that. And so just kind of reading the room and, you know, whatever the team needs that day, being able to.
ESPN is happy to exploit Clark's success for views, but when it's time to give her the respect she's earned, they conveniently shift the goalposts. Even their own analysts admitted on air that leaving Clark off felt wrong, recognizing her unprecedented dominance. Clark is a 3-time NCAA scoring leader and assist leader, a 3-time All-American, 2-time National Player of the Year, and the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history. She broke records held by Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu, yet somehow ESPN doesn't consider her top 5. Instead of standing by the truth, ESPN clings to an argument that conveniently ignores how other great players without rings have been treated. They are blatantly shifting the criteria to diminish Clark's greatness. She has done more for women's basketball than anyone in recent history, yet ESPN refuses to recognize it.
it comes to being on the court, you know, I really am. I'm spicy, I'm fiery, I'm the ultimate competitor, and I'm really just trying to do whatever it takes for my team to win. A lot of people have a lot to say about it, but honestly, any teammate that you've asked that maybe had opinions about me before, once we're teammates, like, oh, like, we love you as him. I'm like, duh, I'm not a mean person. But to be honest, I think that it could be a game changer. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna hit my threes, I'm gonna do all that, but just from a young age, my parents were like, go be the hardest worker. Don't let anyone outwork you, but also enjoy it. Like, you work your tail off. So when it's time to play a game, go laugh, go smile, go yell if you want to, go be passionate.
If championships are the only metric, then why do individual awards exist? Basketball is a team sport. No single player wins a title alone. If Clark isn't in the top 5 because of a lack of a title, then I strongly disagree. Championships are a team achievement, while Clark's individual dominance is undeniable. She shattered records, elevated her team, and brought Iowa, without a championship pedigree, to back-to-back title games. That alone should place her in the top 5, if not at number 1. Yet ESPN ignored her unmatched stats. Let's talk about what they don't want you to see. Breanna Stewart, ranked number 1, played for UConn, a powerhouse loaded with future WNBA stars. Is winning a championship at UConn or South Carolina more impressive than carrying an underdog team to the brink of a title? What's more impressive, winning a title with a stacked team or rewriting history with limited resources? Clark holds the all-time scoring record in both men's and women's college basketball. Her offensive skill set is unmatched, and her ability to elevate teammates is undeniable. ESPN ranked legendary players ahead of her, but did any of them revolutionize the sport the way Clark did? When analyzed logically, the argument against Clark falls apart. ESPN's biggest mistake is ignoring that Clark did more with less. Unlike Breanna Stewart, Cheryl Miller, and Maya Moore, who had rosters stacked with future WNBA talent, Clark didn't have those advantages. Iowa wasn't a powerhouse when she arrived. She built it into one. Put Breanna Stewart on Iowa. Would she have led them to back-to-back national championship games? Probably not. Yet Clark accomplished exactly that. Clark's greatness extends beyond stats. She changed the game. Before her, women's college basketball wasn't breaking viewership records. She changed that. She packed arenas, drove TV ratings to all-time highs, and made women's basketball more relevant than ever. Even ESPN's own analysts admitted her impact was unparalleled, yet they still erased her from the rankings. ESPN's agenda is clear. When Caitlin Clark makes history, they downplay it. When another player succeeds, they highlight it as a groundbreaking achievement. The double standard is obvious. ESPN can adjust rankings, shift goalposts, and manipulate narratives, but they can't erase reality. Caitlin Clark isn't just a great player. She's one of the greatest to ever play the game. Her records, influence, and impact speak louder than any biased ranking. Years from now, history won't remember ESPN's flawed lists. It will remember the undeniable truth of what Caitlin Clark accomplished. So let ESPN continue playing their games. While they rewrite history, Clark is out here making it, and the world is watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.